Welcome to the most incredible marketing show ever. The show where each week a panel of respected marketing strategists, all trained and certified by the legendary Dan Kennedy, share their wisdom, experience, strategies, and insights on how to use Dan Kennedy's philosophy on business and marketing in any type of business, and that you can apply to your business immediately. Here's your host, Craig Valine.
Hello, and welcome to the most incredible marketing show ever. I'm your host, Craig Valine. In today's episode, we dive into marketing mythbusters, where we challenge the conventional wisdom of marketing with the razor-sharp teachings of Dan Kennedy. As usual, I'm joined by my panel of Dan Kennedy certified experts, IBAs, and friends. Welcome. And today we're going to dissect and debunk widespread marketing myths and validate strategies that truly work. So expect enlightening discussions, eye-opening revelations, and actionable insights as our expert panel bring real-world examples to the table. And whether you're a seasoned marketer or a curious newcomer, today's episode will equip you with the knowledge to elevate your marketing game. So let's bust some myths and uncover some truths in marketing. Richelle, what myth do you want to bust?
Well, you know that my favorite myth is that more is better, right? So oftentimes when I'm talking to or with a person, they're like, no, how many more can we do? How many more? I have a client right now who she is getting customers from social media and she's running ads. And so she's like, okay, $15 a day is working, but how about I just do $150 a day? Is that going to generate more money for her? It didn't. It blew up. I was like, you did what? Number one, it just blows through the algorithm. But the second myth is when you do that, it's finding more of the same people is really, really difficult. So even when you get your small little niche, right? Adding more should be at small increments, not at a big increment, because adding more does not automatically equal to more money. And that's the myth that sometimes I think business owners struggle with is figuring that thing out.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good one. Steve, what myth do you want to bust today?
Well, I'm going to kind of piggyback on what Richelle just said there is I like the saying, if your target is everyone, your client will be no one. Because people come to me all the time, and similar to Richelle saying, oh, let's just 10 times the marketing budget, that ought to 10 times the sales and 10 times the profit. They come to me. So for instance, like a chiropractor, I'll say, okay, who do you want to target? Well, 40% of Americans have back pain. I'm like, what are you, Coca-Cola? Can you afford to effectively market to 40% of the people? What's that? Like 150 million Americans? How much money you got? So come on, let's narrow down. Let's target an audience, because here's the thing. Not only can you then afford to have an impact with them, but you can target a message that'll work to them. I'll give you an example. I had a client with a sewing and quilting shop. And sewing and quilting, any retail store, generally the message is, selection. We have all the selection and we have great prices. But that's kind of a milquetoast weak That's a milquetoast weak message. And it puts you pretty much the same as everybody. And so now people just choose what's the closest shop to me, instead of you standing out in their mind and they pass by 10 other shops just to get to yours. So what we did, I said, what's the top money-making item you sell in the shop? Because it's not likely the balls of yarn. Not to mention, so it was these sewing machines, which I don't know if you know, but top-end sewing quilting machines, like $25,000. I was like, you got to be kidding me. That's got to make you more money than selling we have the large selection of colors of balls of thread. Second of all, somebody buys a $25,000 sewing machine, you think they might be buying some thread and some yarn or what, and some patterns and what. So that's going to trigger the sales of everything else. Now, here's the thing. Who's most likely to buy a $25,000 sewing machine so we can target this message? Well, she's like, well, everyone comes in the shop, young women and men and anyone and older. I'm like, okay, but the young women that have kids and they have a lot of time to do sewing. Do they have a lot of money to put into sewing machines? Oh, long story short, or long story long, but I'll end it. We decided to target what she called the blue hairs, the empty nesters, the recently empty nesters. So these women, the message we targeted, super powerful. It doubled and tripled the revenue of her store, built it to the largest sewing and quilting shop in the entire Chicagoland area. We were able to say, hey, for years, for decades, you've sacrificed everything for your family. You've done everything for the kids while your husband went off and played golf and did this and had all his expensive hobbies, and you were always just dedicated family. Well, now, don't you think it's time for you? And we gave them the message to say to their husband just like that. Hey, it's been all about you and you've done this and that. I am getting a $25,000 sewing machine. The kids are off in school. They're done. Now it's time to put the money to me. And by the way, when you finance it over years, it's just a few $100 a month. So clearly, just in food alone, from feeding teenagers till they left the house, you got the money for the sewing machine. Boom. And then all the sales are triggered from that. And then she said the common word, which is the mistake that business owners make. Well, yeah, but now what about, there's still men that come in, and what about younger women? I'm like, yeah, you never say no to somebody who wants to buy something, but you're not going to spend 1 second or one bit of effort or one penny on attracting those people. They will come by referral and they will come anyway, but you're going to put everything into attracting your very best target clients. So more, like Richelle said, not necessarily better. In fact, I'm going to say very often, it's worse.
It's worse.
Stop doing it.
Very good. Very good example. Joe, what marketing myth would you like to bust today?
Well, the one the one that gets me when I talk to business owners is marketing's a cost, not an investment. And I think, just like this example that Steve's talking about, you can't just throw out direct emails or have your salesman, if you've got a sales team, going around to the doors of buy now, buy now, buy now. It's just buy what? Why would I want it? And that's where, putting together an investment, looking at it as an investment means that, means basically that you really should look at it and say, what kind of a budget I can afford? And then if I measure it, to see what I'm getting for results. Like Steve said in his example, send it to everybody. No, wait a minute. Send it to empty nesters instead. And so what kind of marketing are you doing? And then, basically you work that into your direct marketing pieces that you're going to do through the either direct mail, direct email, etc. And that's where it all comes in. If you think about it, here's an idea here, that something that worked very successfully. It was get a Mac. And basically there were two guys standing there on the screen, and they basically, hi, I'm a Mac. Hi, I'm an Intel laptop, Intel computer. And they would go back and forth. And of course, Mac was trying to show you how much more valuable their product was versus the Intel machines. That's kind of what you want to do, is you want to do the marketing, and then you can make the offers. If you buy the Mac, we have 10% off or something. But that's all in your direct, sale. That's what you're trying to do. And that's where I think you've got to build the brand of what you have. And you got to target the right people, of course. Just like Steve said, you just don't target everybody. And so that's kind of where I look at it. And many times I walk in to talk to somebody, especially since I work with CRM systems, and marketing's a waste of money. I just have my sales reps get on the phone all day. Yeah, well, who are they calling? I don't know. Basically, I had one sales manager owners tell me, yeah, well, they'll get a bonus if they call over 100 extra people a month. Who? Well, so again, it's the branding, it's the marketing. Where are you going with it?
What a horrible thing that is. Like that's a great marketing myth, right? Even like we talked about more, like, can you imagine like what a up job that is, Ooh, excuse me. Right. Beep, beep. What a horrible job that is to sit there and just dial just the telephone book, hoping and praying that this person is it. And how business owners think that somebody wants to do that. And they probably have that person on straight commission too. And thinking that they're all, broad shoulders and isn't this funny? No, it's not funny. And it's really, really mean. And how about you create, right, and get a highly targeted list like Steve was talking about. And even if you did that with the blue hairs, they're at home, right? Easier ones, better wins, better sales. You can keep going, but I want to smack the stuff out of
I know
business owners that say to do that. Like, what are you talking about? Stop it.
Well, yeah, that's the myth. Sales is a numbers game.
Right.
Look, sure. But first, it's a quality game.
Yes.
So once you get the quality down, then go to more numbers. But it's not a random numbers game. Whoever thought that's a smart way to do business? That sales is a random numbers game. I just want to roll the dice, open the phone book, and close your eyes and point to a name, and that's going to be an ideal buyer. Come on,
right? And I'm an expert salesperson, right? And if I go 0 for 10. It's not me.
Right.
It's the list.
Right. I mean, they expect the sales, if they're expecting the sales guy to go up to even an industrial park, say in this case, with 50 businesses in it and just start banging on doors, you don't even know what they do. It's like, are they the right target? So.
No. What's funny is that I for a while I sold Pitney Bowes mail machines. And that was the strategy, right? Go through an industrial park. I mean, I didn't like it. I was trying to use my direct marketing experience as best I can. But the managers would yell at me, get out there, go knock on doors. And you know what we have to deal with when you're doing that? You have people who say they're from Pitney Bowes, but they're not. They say they're competitors. Hey, I'm here to check on your machine. And it's such bullcrap. Yeah. Little tricks of the trade there. And, one of the strategies that they used to teach is go through the phone book. Our former phone book salesperson, Yellow Pages salesperson there, right? It's like, go for, hey, do you have a mail machine? Do you have needs? Do you want to save money on your postage? Sure. Whatever.
That's
but it's
called
still
the really bad sales manager IQ test.
Yes.
If they say anything like that, either put your own system together or run for the hills and go work somewhere else.
Yeah. I used my direct marketing background. I mean, I was there for longer than the average salesperson because I had that strategy, because diversity creates stability. I had to get out and knock because they made me get out there and visit, but I also used newsletter marketing. I used ads. I used sales letters. I used the phone. I used, fax marketing and stuff like that back when I could without punishment. We have to take a quick,
because I wasn't going outside.
Yeah.
I was in Vegas. I'm like, it's 110.
Well, amen to that, right?
I ain't going outside.
And when I was doing it, was August and September in Southern California isn't fun either. Listen, we have to take a quick break for a message from our sponsor. We'll be right back.
This episode of The Most Incredible Marketing Show Ever is sponsored by Steve Sipress. Get a free video on how to solve all of your sales and marketing problems and have fun doing it using the WOW strategy at www.thewowstrategy.com. That's www.thewowstrategy.com. Now, back to our show.
All right. So, one of my favorites is the alphabet behind the letter. So as a consultant or as an expert in anything, right, it's like, hey, are you certified? What organization prepared you to be a consultant, to be a coach, to be whatever, right? And so, Dan has said this before, right? It's helpful, but it's not necessary, right? I think Lee Miltier was on stage once and she was in the ladies' room, and of course they just attack her for everything, but they said, you should really consider being certified. It's like, I'm already making $1 million. I'm already successful, and you want me to get certified? Crazy.
It's like, certified. Who's going to certify me?
Yeah, we're certifiable for sure, but certified. Dan Kennedy certified us. That's why we're here. So, Steve, do you have another myth that you'd like to bust?
Here's another one. Direct mail is dead.
Yeah.
I mean, we just talked about it. Joe just mentioned. I mean, Richelle said, get a list. Like people think, oh, social media. That's the way to get a hold of people, which I guess. But let me tell you, do you think that the most successful people are sitting there scrolling all day on their phones? I'll give you a hint. How do you think they got successful? They're busy. They're doing things. And if they're not working, they're enjoying their life. But they're not teenage kids scrolling through their Facebook. I mean, that's one way to do it. But the best way to get in front of anybody to have their undivided attention is with a piece of physical mail being dropped at their house, especially nowadays. I mean, look at us. Between the four of us, we have 7,000 years experience. So we go way back to where we were delivering stone tablets that you tap out. No, I'm just kidding. But back in the day, does anyone remember going to the mailbox and the stack of mail you would get would be like this? And they'd be like, this is junk, this is good, this is junk. Now the stack of mail is like that. I get one thing. I'm like, I'm reading it. No matter what it is, I'm interested. So use it, folks, especially since your competitors are too dumb enough to use it because they believe the myth, direct mail is dead. Good. Let them believe that. Then you use direct mail and rake in the cash.
And there are ways to use it very successfully. If you pay attention to us, we will share that with you. Stay tuned for another episode. Yeah. Richelle, do you have a myth that you like to bust? One more.
Oh gosh. Yeah. My other favorite is that I don't email more than once a week.
Right.
I don't like to get more than one email. So don't email more than once a week. People are going to be mad. They're going to whatever. It's like I email every day. I have clients who email every single day, and it's because they're delivering value every single day, even in a B2B. Every single day, I get an email from Old Navy every single day with the deal of the day, and I ran over there to get tank tops for $3 and flip flops for $2 and jeans for $15.
Seriously, think about it. When the TV shows first come out, they're on once a week. But then when they get into reruns, they're on every day. Heck, Judge Judy, Seinfeld, Fred, they're on 5 times a day. And you know what? People watch them 5 times a day. So don't think that, like Richelle said, that once a week, who made that up? Somebody who wants you to believe it so they can get in that inbox and make all the money. Don't be that guy.
Right. Blue Bloods, if it's like at any time of the day, you can watch Law and Order, Blue Bloods, or anything else. Like, when I was at home during my cancer journey and I couldn't do anything but watch TV, like I watched every single episode of Law and Order. Like I can tell you exactly. And when I see the first part, I go, oh, this is the one where the lady killed her son and they thought it was a thing. Like I can tell you all of those, all of the Murder, She Wrote. I've seen all of them. It's people want to hear from people that they know, like, and trust, right? We hear that all the time, but they definitely want to hear about you, about your life, about what's going on. And I don't even care if it's a B2B. Like when I was selling telephone to businesses, we still sent more than once a week. Like what? Knock it off.
It's not how often you send it, it's how boring it is.
Right.
Yeah. If it's boring, don't even send one a week. If it's exciting, send it all the time.
Right. there are marketers who send out a relationship kind of email every week. I do that once a week with an offer at the end, or with hey, by the way, if you need help in the meantime, here are 4 ways that I can help you. But I also send out the newsletter, the announcement for the newest episode of this program. And I used to do it on a regular basis. So there are those types of emails, the relationship emails that kind of tell a story. Here's what I'm going up against. Here's what a client experienced, that sort of thing. But then there's the, offer emails. If you've got something that's going to maybe on a time, you've got time countdown or whatever.
Timely offer, right? 4 days deal.
Right. Hey, this is going to end on Friday. So you can send out 1, 2, or 3 emails a day to let them know, hey, did you see this? Especially if they clicked on it and they showed they liked it. That's when the countdown says, hey, by the way, I've also added this bonus. Hey, by the way, you've only got a day left. Hey, by the way, it works. But again, you have to have the relationship with the person.
Well, I'll tell you about me personally, even if I don't open them, so I don't know whether they're value or selling or whatever, but I see the names that are hitting my mailbox every day. So I'm thinking of those people. And second of all, what I'm really thinking is, man, this guy really believes in what he's selling, because he's every single day giving me another reason that I should buy this thing. So when I'm in the market for that, people will buy on their timing, not on ours. So when I'm in the market, I'm thinking of that guy, and I'm not going to a search engine looking for that product or service. I know I got to just dip into my email box. As long as I didn't delete everything, which I don't, just let it pile up. I can dip in there and get the click to his website or see what his latest thing is or whatever. So just by showing up, even if people aren't reading it or clicking on it, they're seeing that, and it's building that trust factor, and it's building, like I said, I just believe this guy really must have a good thing. He really believes in it. I want to buy from somebody who really believes in what they're selling. Right. So they're hammering away at it. I don't want to buy from the guy who says, I don't want to bother you, but well, then you must not believe you're helping me. So the salespeople go, hi, I don't want to interrupt. I don't want to, excuse me? Don't you believe you have something that can help me? Hammer away at it. Let's go.
Right. Amen.
Yeah, I mean, if you're sending out direct mail, it's one thing, depending on who you're sending to. If they're always getting postcards, or they have a secretary that looks through the stuff, sees the postcards, they could start chucking them. I always found, even if it's a one-page letter, sometimes they don't get opened up by the secretary. They put it on his or her desk. And, one of the things I did was, I told them that I wanted to talk to them about their sales processes and so forth. And I told them in the letter that, I'll be giving you a call soon. And then I put a PS on the bottom. It's okay if you call me first. Well, the idea was to catch their eye, because they're going to scan through the letter. Wait a minute, what? So, basically I got responses of, yeah, I knew you were calling. So again, the direct mail piece, how you target and how you address the person you're talking to is really the key to it. So, but if it's business to consumer, yeah, you could do postcards and things, or, we get that envelope with a whole bunch of mail in it, post slips in it and stuff like that. But, and then if I'm in the market to have my house washed down, I'll see who's in the thing that month. But basically, it depends on who you're targeting. Again, who am I trying to reach, and what's the best way to address them? So really, that's what it comes down to.
Yes, indeed. Last myth to bust. I have to lower my prices to beat my competitors. Who wants to address that? Yeah,
if you lower your prices, you can beat your competitors to bankruptcy. I mean, that's what the battle's to, right? They say it's a dollar, and you say, oh, I'll get them 99 cents. Well, you don't think they know what your prices are? They see your marketing, they drive by your store. Now they're 98 cents. You're 97. I mean, before long, neither one of you is making any money. And congratulations, you tied. You both won the race to the bottom. That is ridiculous. You want to add more value to justify, even you want to raise the prices, but you at least want to add more value. Even if you're just going to sell at the same price, don't take away from the price. That's an absolute race to the bottom, and it's crazy. Absolutely don't be that guy.
Yeah. Instead of like a 30-day warranty, give them a 6-month warranty or something, or whatever the case may be. You haven't changed your price. So
yeah, there are other ways to differentiate than just lowering price. Yes, that is the lesson here. Richelle, do you have something?
Well, it's just the worst. Like, why do I want to make less money? Right. I don't know. And the person who is going to buy it at $1 is also going to buy it at 101.
Right.
Like what the like, I don't even understand that. There's only one Walmart, and I don't want to be them. And do you want to be those people that are, right? But no, like, anyway, I just don't even do the pricing thing, because I can't. Like, if you ask me that question, like, I want to throw up on you, or I want to do the share, snap out of it. Like, what the hell? Like, no.
I will say it's very common, though, and they're frustrating. People aren't buying, and you're thinking of every single reason why possible. Maybe I should lower your price. when you're thinking that, call one of us. We'll talk you out of that. There are much better ways to resurrect your business and your whatever you're selling than to take that avenue. Never think you got to lower your price to compete. Biggest mistake.
Well, it has nothing to do with price if they're not buying.
Right.
It has nothing to do with your price if they're not buying. If they're not buying, that you haven't been able to present enough value. You haven't been able to show that it will work for them. You haven't been able to show that you are trustworthy. And you know the first way to show that you ain't trustworthy? Lower your price. Yes.
And in fact, you're going to repel your best buyers who are not going to be, you've never met anyone and you've said like, hey, that's a nice outfit. And then they bragged about how much they spent on it. Yes. Or that's a nice landscape. It ought to be. I have to pay $3,000 for it. So do you think they want to say like, it ought to be, I paid a discount bargain price because I'm a discount crappy shopper and I'm broke. No, let people brag about how expensive your stuff is. Second of all, psychologically, they just think you're better. I make the example all the time. I say, just God forbid you were arrested. It was a complete, mistake, but you got to call a lawyer. And you know what? I'm going to supply the lawyer for you. So I can either call the $1,000 an hour lawyer, or I'll hire the $200 an hour lawyer. Which one do you want? So just and everyone says the 1,000. I go, but here's the thing. See, the $200 lawyer has been around for 30 years, knows everybody. He's the greatest, but he knows nothing about marketing. The $1,000 an hour lawyer just came out of law school yesterday, but he called me and I put together fantastic marketing for him, and people happily pay him $1,000. So, oops, you chose the wrong one. But naturally, the psychology is if it's more expensive, it's got to be better. So why would you want to lower your price? Now, the psychology be, that guy's thing must suck. Don't be that guy either.
Awesome. That's right. And that's what you're showing there. I mean, if it's somebody who's being competitive against 10 other people for a blue widget, I mean, maybe if you do some videos on the quality of your blue widget and what you're doing and why it's a better blue widget than everybody else's, that's why you're going to be standing out and why you should be able to get what you're asking for in price. So.
Very good. Very good. Hey, listen, we got to wrap up. Unfortunately, this has been a great episode. Thank you all for sharing. We have a free gift if you've been watching this episode or listening to this episode at mostincrediblemarketingshowever.com. It's a gift pack from all of our expert panelists, whether they're on this episode or the other previous episodes. Please go check that out. It's free for you. We meet once a week on Thursdays, and you can watch us on YouTube at Most Incredible Marketing Show. And that is all for today. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for my guests, my expert panel. We'll see you next week. And thanks so much. Have a great week. Bye now.
Thank you for joining us this week on The Most Incredible Marketing Show Ever. New episodes are available every week on Thursdays. To receive a free gift pack from our expert panelists and get access to show notes from previous episodes, be sure to visit our website, www.mostincrediblemarketingshowever.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and click the bell up in the right-hand corner to be notified of future episodes so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate you clicking the like button and leaving a comment on what big aha you got during the show. That's it for today's episode. See you next week.